the quaint town of Willow Creek, nestled amidst rolling hills and blooming meadows, Valentine's Day was a celebration like no other. The streets were adorned with heart-shaped decorations, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of roses and anticipation. But beneath the surface of this idyllic town lay a dark secret, a tale of love and loss that had haunted Willow Creek for generations. It was said that on every Valentine's Day, a curse descended upon the town, bringing with it tragedy and heartache. As the sun dipped below the horizon on the eve of Valentine's Day, a young couple named Lily and Thomas found themselves wandering through the cobblestone streets of Willow Creek. Their love was pure and true, their hearts entwined like ivy on an ancient oak. But as they walked hand in hand, a sense of unease settled over them like a shroud. The townsfolk whispered tales of the Valentine's curse, warning of the dangers that lurked in the shadows. Undeterred by superstition, Lily and Thomas laughed off the warnings, dismissing them as nothing more than old wives' tales. Their love was strong, they believed, strong enough to withstand any challenge that fate might throw their way. As the clock struck midnight and Valentine's Day dawned, the streets of Willow Creek came alive with celebration. Couples danced beneath the stars, their laughter mingling with the soft strains of music that drifted through the night air. But as the hours passed and the revelry reached its peak, a darkness descended upon the town, casting a pall over the festivities. The air grew thick with an unnatural chill, and the stars seemed to dim as if mourning the impending tragedy. It was then that the first whispers of the curse began to spread, carried on the wind like a mournful lament. Strange shadows danced at the edge of vision, and the sound of footsteps echoed through the empty streets. Lily and Thomas, caught up in the euphoria of their love, paid no heed to the signs that surrounded them. They danced beneath the moonlight, their hearts full of hope and joy, oblivious to the darkness that lurked just beyond their sight. But as the night wore on, and the revelry reached its crescendo, tragedy struck with the force of a thunderbolt. In the midst of the celebration, a scream pierced the air, its anguished wail echoing through the streets like a death knell. Lily and Thomas, torn from their embrace, found themselves standing at the edge of a nightmare. The town square lay shrouded in darkness, its once vibrant colors dulled by the pall of despair. And there, bathed in the cold light of the moon, stood a figure cloaked in shadow, its eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light. It spoke in hushed tones, weaving a tale of love and loss that spanned centuries. The figure revealed the truth behind the Valentine's curse, a tragic tale of betrayal and heartache that had doomed the town to eternal sorrow. It spoke of lovers torn apart by fate, their souls bound together in a cycle of suffering and despair. Lily and Thomas listened in horror as the figure recounted the events that had led to the curse, each word like a dagger to their hearts. They realized then that their love was not enough to break the cycle, that they were but pawns in a game played by forces beyond their understanding. As the figure vanished into the night, leaving behind only whispers and shadows, Lily and Thomas were left to face the harsh reality of their fate. They knew then that their love was doomed, destined to end in tragedy like so many before them. With heavy hearts, they embraced one final time, their tears mingling with the cold rain that fell from the sky. And as the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, they vanished into the darkness, their souls forever entwined in the tragic tapestry of the Valentine's curse. And so, in the town of Willow Creek, Valentine's Day became a day of mourning, a reminder of the love that was lost and the curse that could never be broken. And as the years passed and the memories faded, the legend of Lily and Thomas lived on, a cautionary tale of the dangers of love in a world consumed by darkness. In the heart of the city, where skyscrapers reached toward the heavens and the streets pulsed with the rhythm of life, Valentine's Day dawned like any other day, but beneath the facade of romance and celebration lay a darkness that few dared to acknowledge, a darkness that lurked in the shadows and whispered of forgotten promises and unrequited love. Amidst the bustling streets and neon lights stood a small, nondescript apartment building, its weathered bricks bearing witness to the passage of time. In one of its dimly lit units lived Mia, a young woman with a heart full of dreams and a soul burdened by loneliness. Mia's days were spent toiling away in a cramped office, her nights a blur of solitude and longing. Each Valentine's Day served as a painful reminder of the love she had lost, the love that had slipped through her fingers like grains of sand, leaving behind nothing but empty memories and shattered dreams. But this year, Mia vowed to break free from the chains of her past, to embrace the spirit of Valentine's Day and reclaim the love that had eluded her for so long. With a determination born of desperation, she adorned her apartment with crimson roses and flickering candles, their soft glow casting shadows against the walls like echoes of a forgotten time. As the sun dipped below the horizon and the city streets grew quiet, Mia found herself standing alone on her balcony, her gaze fixed on the twinkling lights that dotted the skyline. The air was heavy with the scent of roses and anticipation, and the distant hum of traffic seemed to fade into the background as she lost herself in the moment. But as the clock struck midnight and Valentine's Day dawned in all its splendor, a chill wind swept through the city, carrying with it a sense of foreboding that sent shivers down Mia's spine. She wrapped her arms around herself, her heart pounding in her chest as she scanned the darkened streets below. And then she saw him, a figure shrouded in darkness, his eyes gleaming like twin stars in the night sky. He stood at the edge of the alleyway, his form obscured by the shadows, his presence a haunting reminder of the past she had tried so desperately to forget. Mia's breath caught in her throat as she recognized the figure standing before her, a specter from another time, a ghost of the love she had once known. His name was Ethan, and he had been her first and only true love, a love that had burned bright and fierce before flickering out like a dying ember. As Ethan drew closer, his features coming into focus in the dim light, Mia felt a surge of conflicting emotions wash over her, a mixture of longing and resentment, hope and despair. His eyes bore into hers, a silent plea for forgiveness that tore at her very soul. With a trembling hand, Mia reached out to touch him, her fingers brushing against his ghostly form. But as she did, a darkness enveloped her, consuming her with a force that threatened to swallow her whole. She found herself transported to a place beyond time and space, a realm where memories mingled with dreams and reality blurred into illusion. Here, amidst the swirling mists of the unknown, Mia came face to face with the truth that had eluded her for so long. Ethan spoke, his voice a whisper on the wind, as he revealed the secrets of their past, a tale of love and loss, of promises made and broken, of hearts torn asunder by the cruel hand of fate. He spoke of the day they had met, their eyes locking in a moment of shared recognition, a recognition that had sparked a flame that burned brighter than the sun. But as he spoke, Mia felt a sense of unease settle over her, a nagging doubt that gnawed at her heart and clouded her mind. She realized then that Ethan was not the man she had once loved, that he was nothing more than a shadow, a ghost of the past that haunted her every thought and action. With a cry of anguish, Mia tore herself from Ethan's grasp, her heart heavy with the weight of realization. She knew then that she could not cling to the ghosts of the past, that she had to let go in order to move forward, to embrace the future that lay before her. And so, with tears streaming down her face and her heart heavy with sorrow, Mia bid farewell to Ethan and the memories they had shared. She watched as he faded into the darkness, his form becoming little more than a whisper on the wind, a fleeting reminder of a love that had once burned bright. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, Mia emerged from the depths of her despair, her spirit unbroken in the face of unimaginable loss. She knew that the road ahead would be long and difficult, but she also knew that she was not alone, that love, in all its forms, would always be there to guide her through the darkness. The suburb of Willowbrook, where rows of houses lined the streets like silent sentinels. Valentine's Day dawned with the promise of love and romance. But for Emily, a young woman haunted by memories of the past, the day held a different kind of significance, a reminder of loss and heartache that refused to be forgotten. Emily lived alone in a small, cozy house at the end of the cul-de-sac, its white picket fences standing as a barrier between her and the outside world. She had long since resigned herself to a life of solitude, her heart guarded against the pain of love lost and dreams shattered. As the sun dipped below the horizon on Valentine's Eve, Emily found herself lost in thought, her gaze fixed on the flickering flames of the fireplace. The air was heavy with the scent of roses and anticipation, and the soft strains of a love song drifted through the quiet rooms of her home. But as the clock struck midnight and Valentine's Day dawned, a chill wind swept through the house, carrying with it a sense of unease that sent shivers down Emily's spine. She wrapped herself in a blanket, her heart racing as she scanned the darkened rooms for signs of intruders. And then she heard it, a soft, insistent tapping at the window, like the sound of tiny fingers rapping against the glass. Emily's breath caught in her throat as she approached the window, her heart pounding in her chest as she peered into the darkness outside. There, standing on the front porch, was a figure cloaked in shadow, its features obscured by the veil of night. Its eyes gleamed like twin orbs in the darkness, and its presence sent a chill down Emily's spine. With trembling hands, she opened the door, her voice barely a whisper as she called out into the night. But there was no response, only the sound of the wind as it whispered through the trees, carrying with it a sense of foreboding that sent a shiver down Emily's spine. As she stepped out onto the porch, the figure drew closer, its form shifting and changing with each step. It spoke in a voice that seemed to echo from the depths of the abyss, weaving a tale of love and loss that chilled Emily to the bone. The figure revealed itself to be a ghost from Emily's past, a specter from another time, a reminder of the love she had once known and lost. His name was James, and he had been her first and only true love, a love that had burned bright and fierce before flickering out like a dying ember. As James drew closer, his presence filled the air with an otherworldly chill, his eyes burning with an intensity that sent a shiver down Emily's spine. He spoke of the love they had shared, of the dreams they had once dared to dream, a love that had been torn asunder by the cruel hand of fate. But as he spoke, Emily felt a sense of uneasy settle over her, a nagging doubt that gnawed at her heart and clouded her mind. She realized then that James was not the man she had once loved, that he was nothing more than a ghost, a shadow of the past that haunted her every thought and action. With a cry of anguish, Emily tore herself from James's grasp, her heart heavy with the weight of realization. She knew then that she could not cling to the ghosts of the past, that she had to let go in order to move forward, to embrace the future that lay before her. And so, with tears streaming down her face and her heart heavy with sorrow, Emily bid farewell to James and the memories they had shared. She watched as he faded into the darkness, his form becoming little more than a whisper on the wind, a fleeting reminder of a love that had once burned bright. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, Emily emerged from the depths of her despair, her spirit unbroken in the face of unimaginable loss. She knew that the road ahead would be long and difficult, but she also knew that she was not alone, that love in all its forms would always be there to guide her through the darkness.